Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so very good morning, all of you. Hope all of you can hear me clear and loud, and also I'm sharing my slides, so all of you can see my slides, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Very good morning again. Warm welcome to the session. Thanks for joining. I know for some of you, know it's the middle of a long weekend, but no, we wanted to connect. It's long time we connected in Jan last week, so we wanted to give some quick and important updates about chapter, and also we have very interesting session also lined up today. So hope you will enjoy the session, and also no hope all of you had a great Holi yesterday. Delayed wishes on account of Holi. If any of you celebrating Bhai Booj tomorrow, best wishes for that as well. So a quick snapshot view of what we are going to cover today. So I'll do a quick updates on the chapter. So all of you know me. Some of you joining first time, I'm Venkat Reddy. I'm the chapter president right now and been volunteering from last 16 years for the chapter. So I'll give a quick note on the updates, snapshot view of the chapter. So then we talk keyboard changes. All of you, if you're following your email, some of the updates you already know already what I'm going to talk about. So we'll cover quick updates from chapter leaders, and then we have the interesting session I'm talking about from Rahul, and we do quick announcement and report of thanks as well at the end. Okay, so you can stop me anytime if you have any questions. And no, there is no hard and fast rule that we have to wait till end of the session to ask questions. You can just post it in the chat group, or you can just message me as well. So if you can't unmute yourself and speak. Okay, so let me cover very high level quick updates here. So the key updates from last meeting to today. So we are talking about majorly in the month of Feb. Okay. So as no, it's happening across the world at PMI and chapter also, we are trying to do, trying for RTN or RTO we are talking about, right? So in case of our offices, we are talking about return to office. No, in case of chapter, we are talking about return to normal. Okay, so we are trying slowly. Some of the meetings we converted to physical meetings or board meetings happening physical now month on month. So as this was scheduled before, so we wanted to go ahead with virtual, but definitely I hope our next meeting will be physical. Okay, so we want to take advantage of both physical and virtual. So one of the key strength we have at chapter is the physical connect, where all of us can see each face to face physically and also discuss about chapter, about profession, about our life in general, isn't it? So that's the physical connect we are missing, unfortunately, due to COVID from last multiple years. Hopefully, we should get back this year. If there are no any major waves again, people are discussing nowadays. But no, we are at least planning for to return back to normal activities, especially from the chapter side. Okay, so you will see more on that down the line. And another good news I wanted to share, as all of you see my slide at the corner. So we won the chapter award last year globally. Some of you not aware, we won the chapter award last year in category 2 at worldwide. So again, thanks to all the volunteers and board members who contributed to that. And we also won in our region, again in award category 2 in lines with the chapter award winner. We won chapter of the year award as well for our region last year. So for 2021. So we continued that streak wherein we have a chapter recommendation score of 59. This is as latest as last week only we get to know this. And no, we have a chapter recommendation score that is nothing but the net promoter score. If some of you following my updates last year, so we used to call it as NPS, that is retagged as chapter recommendation score. That is 59. That is a significant jump. I'll go into the further details. And also we completed the annual plan. So as all of you know as part of our chapter governance, So we do define our goals. So we define our strategy, we define our goals in line with the way we do in corporates, the similar activities we do here. So we defined our focus areas. We are going to talk about a bit on that. And also we need to renew our charter with PMI every year. So that is also done successfully, and thanks to my board for completing that on time. There are multiple discussions we had in terms of what could be the focus areas where we need to align. And also in the similar line, I would like to acknowledge that for 2021 retro, so where we did a review of what we did in 2021 as well with PMI team. Very glad to update all of you that we made phenomenal progress in most of the areas we committed last year. So there are quite a few areas, no, very little areas I would say where we are not able to make progress, but otherwise, definitely there is certain activities which we have not committed also, we have not done. Sorry, we have not committed also, we have done during the year 2021. Again, kudos to all the volunteers who contributed to that. So this definitely in the right context wherein we have achieved the biggest possible awards in the year 2021, and also that in line with that we have our significant jump in chapter recommendation scores for 2021 as well. And also in terms of the goals, what we call the MBO kind of models we talk about, right? So in terms of goals set forward for last year, we achieved, I would say, if I can tell 100% or 120%, because certain goals that we have not completed also we delivered last year. So that's a quick update on annual plans. Chapter elections, all of you following the communication from chapter, there's an important communication yesterday actually, so about the elections and the board changes that I'm going to talk about in a moment. Chapter bylaws committee and revision is in progress. So last time when we are discussing, I have updated that the bylaws is one area where we need to do, because it's a significant time we have reviewed our bylaws and updates were done. So we formed a committee, and reviewed the entire bylaws, and also seek input from from couple of members also, and with experts. So we have past presidents and past board members in the committee, and of course major chunk of current board members also part of the bylaws committee. We did look at each and every section in the bylaws. So we made a call that where exactly the change is required. So we are going to bring forth that document, updated document for all of your review and approvals very soon. So organization transformation series initiated. Hope all of you attended this last time. If you would have, if any of you missed it, I would definitely encourage to go to recording and watch it. Very worthwhile your time. YSIC best practices. YSIC youth and social impact areas is one of our strength areas, as all of you know, and of course this is one of the key focus area in our annual plan as also this year. The social impact, we are going to continue and strive for it, and we shared our best practices to other chapters as well as part of collaboration with other chapters. Faculty pool creation, all of you would have received a communication about the chapter wanted to create a faculty pool where we wanted to leverage our member skill set and knowledge in delivering sessions, either formal academic sessions or non-academic sessions. So we are in the process of creating that faculty pool. There were quite a few interests we got from the members. Thanks a lot for that. And Manohar, Suma, and Vishnu are working on finalizing the list, and they will communicate the same to all of you. Okay, so any questions so far from any of you? Sorry if I'm going too fast. Okay, so I don't see any questions. So Lakshmi Narayana yesterday got mail regarding elected new members. Thanks for that. Recordings link to Suma can share in that. YSIC stands for Youth and Social Impact. Okay. Thank you. So let's move on to the snapshot view. So this is the current snapshot view, as all of you can see. Uh, Key updates here. 1224 is the current as of today count. This is the latest count updated, of course, half an hour back only. And we have 12 board members. As you know, this chapter is run by 12 volunteers who represent the chapter as a board. 130 plus volunteers. We celebrated our 20th birthday last year. 59 is the increase in chapter NPS. 82% is the satisfaction score. 51.1% is the retention. This is a bit of improvement. There is a significant improvement here in chapter NPS. That's nothing but the CRS I'm talking about. So the rest of it, all of you know. And know these numbers also, as you see, the certification numbers are at 1121 as of predominantly PMP, and one keynote, even the micro certifications are getting traction. The DASSM, DASSM is significantly getting traction even at our chapter level. Of course, we have PFMCs, PGMCs as well in our chapter. Okay, so if any of you who want to take a note and want to take advantage and mentoring from some of these, we could definitely reach out to us. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so this is a snapshot view of chapter satisfaction. This chapter satisfaction, I think I stressed upon importance in our November network meeting as well. Okay, so uh, again, but the response rate is not that great in terms of members participating in this survey. Okay, so we have about 122 or 121 around members responded to the survey. But out of the responded, one positive thing is obviously we have significant improvement from 42 to 59. And satisfaction is actually dipped a bit from 84 to 82%. But the other parameters like likelihood to renew and importance to career, there is a significant jump, which are definitely worth looking at. And these surveys and the comments, and of course at the chapter level also we seek feedback in various forums and chapter surveys and all that. With all these inputs is how we drive the chapter going forward, because this is no, the members should come forward and give their input in terms of where we can focus at the chapter. I know that will definitely take into our strategy and a plan definition for the next year. Okay, this again a quick snapshot view. So Suma will talk about more on the membership specific slides as well, but I'm just quickly glancing in terms of the overall. So as you see here, 82%, which is in line with region satisfaction score, but a bit 2% that could be one or two members here and there on the overall response rate that we talked about. But there is, as you see here, the significant jump is on the likelihood to recommend chapter and of course likelihood to renew chapter membership at 83%. Okay, so any questions before I move forward and update about board changes? Okay, so how to become volunteer to this wonderful chapter. Thank you, Osma, for asking that. I would let the board share the details with you, and there is a form that you need to fill it up. Okay, so volunteer opportunities. Okay, okay. So one of the key update, as I mentioned, is the elections. Okay, so this is as part of our governance. We conduct board elections year on year. Okay, so especially though there's some of the board members are up for re-election. There are three positions opened, and no, unfortunately, and three of our board members, existing board members, wanted to move out of the board. Okay, so that opened another three positions. So 3 plus 3, 6 positions we opened for elections this year. Very glad to update all of you that we are able to fill all the 6 positions, and we have closed the election process. And I would like to thank on behalf of all of us. I'm not sure whether they are in the call. Ravi, Amit, and Ganesh for the election committee members. So they are the ones actually communicating the election process and election results to all of you. So Ravi is our ex-president. Amit and Ganesh are our ex-board members. So I would like to say a big thank you from all of us for conducting a smooth election this year as well. So we have, as I mentioned, 3 of our existing board members moving out. Uh, as you see here, Madhav, Sita, and Monica decided to move out of the board. We respect their decision and would like to thank each one of them. I'd also request them to say a few words if they are in the call. Madhav, I think all of you know, he was ex-president before me for the chapter. He joined as a committee member in 2010, and he worked as a board member in 2010 to 2011. Then from 2016 up till now, he is part of the board, and he performed various roles as programs director. And 2019 to 2021, he was president. And really appreciate Madhav to be volunteering for many initiatives. So many initiatives, especially like Gramin Library initiative, that is one of his brainchild, and a lot of other initiatives, especially focusing on the social impact area. So where which actually adds a lot of value to the chapter. So thanks a lot, Madhav. I'm not sure whether he's able to join today. I think no.
Ankit, he'll be joining in few minutes. So
Okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, so in the meantime, let's move on to Sita. Sita, I think whoever volunteering with the chapter, you know Sita already. So she's been volunteer from 2019. She joined board in 2000. Actually, volunteer from many years, but joined board in 2019 and post national conference. And from 2019 to now, she's predominantly the volunteers, managing the volunteers portfolio. So instrumental in streamlining the volunteer onboarding and volunteer engagement, and many initiatives, including the recent volunteer development program. She is kind of leading at region level. Sita, you want to say address?
Yeah, thanks, Venkat. Yeah, thanks, Venkat, for the quick intro. Good morning, all. Good morning to all the members, and especially I share a lot of connect with all the volunteers. So over the last few years with the board and handling this portfolio, it gave me an opportunity to work very closely on with many volunteers on many initiatives. So always, as I say that, it's always a chicken and egg. So once we create that pool, then, even the chapter can think of many new initiatives. And I would want to thank all the volunteers. At a stage, we were around close to about, the 20-25% of the member base, getting onto various volunteer opportunities. So in a way, staying connected with the chapter and more working as a volunteer, you see the other side also, where we can give value and give back to the project management community as such, and even to the society. We had many social impact activities also. So many of you have volunteered, and all my journey in this volunteering was very fruitful. As Venkat has mentioned, a proper process has been aligned. All the applications coming through the volunteer VRMS, which we have all the opportunities there. There is a career progression for the volunteers. You join the chapter, you get on to, you work with the chapter for 6 to 1 month, 1 year, and then you move on to a volunteer program manager, And I'm glad, like, when we have people on the board, like, even last time elections and even this time elections, where people like, who are on the, on promoted to the volunteer program managers, they came in as the board member, and it's very, very easy for them, for the transitioning. They quickly take up the portfolios like which they have been engaged. They are in touch with the board. So with all that, like, yes, no, I would want to thank the board as well as all the volunteers, like, for this wonderful journey. So as I say, volunteer. So, my volunteering efforts for the chapter will always be on, though I may not be on the board board activities. Thank you, Venkat. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sita. We have Monica as well with us. So, Monica joined the board in 2018. Again, she wanted to move out of the board this time. And I think if you're following our communication channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, and all that, you would have known Monica already. And she is actually very active in social media, and she's the social media director for the chapter for quite a few years. And also, she handled academy as well during one term. And no, and she's, I think, predominant support for the chapter from last several years, and even before that as a volunteer. So, and she's instrumental in supporting the R11 as well, R11 region, not only our chapter, working with various social media teams and other volunteers across the region as well. Monica?
Thanks, Venkat.
Yeah, please.
Thanks, Venkat. Very good morning, everyone. Um, it has been a very interesting and happening journey for me. Like Venkat mentioned, I have been on the board for about 4+ years now, owning different portfolios, academy, communication, social media, and corporate connect. It has given me the opportunity to turn a lot of my ideas into reality. Some of the ideas which were very close to my heart, like the exam prep buddy program, to support the PMP aspirants in their prep journey. Um, Being the first chapter to in Region 11 to have presence on Instagram, setting up the masterclass, in the pre-COVID era, the in-person meetings that we had for member benefits and knowledge sharing. Of course, it moved virtual after the COVID situation. And all the other stuff that, we've been kind of working along with everybody on the board to provide value to our community. I have always strongly believed in the saying that you need to drive the change that you want to see, and being on the board has been a great way to do that. And it has been possible with supportive members like yourselves, and a lot of support from our passionate volunteers. I'd like to name a few because they have been very, very helpful. People like Babita, Chaitanya, Revant, Varun, Neeraj, Abdul, Satish, Vijay, Praveen, Seshu, Siva. Um, and I'm happy to see some of the names on the board as well. Vinay, Shiva, we've been working very closely in the earlier volunteer stuff. So it's such a good opportunity for volunteers to do their bit and then step into the board, like Venkat was saying, because they know everything that's happening and they bring so much more value to the board, fresh ideas, fresh blood. And of course, also it's been a pleasure working with the chapter leadership team, both the current board and the past board members. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for everything. Of course, like Sita said, I'm also going to be stepping down from the board, but I shall still very much be around. So I'm hoping that we shall still cross our paths in the PMIPCC member and volunteer circles. So I think it's just stepping down from the board, but we'll still be in touch. So best wishes to the new board, and wish you a fantastic journey ahead, and stay in touch, everyone. Back to you, Venkat.
Thank you, Monica. No, as you rightly mentioned, this definitely is not a farewell speech from the chapter, so farewell speech from the board. So I would request on behalf of all the board, no, all the board and of course members, also no request your support, and no, you have a lot of experience and how to run the chapter as well. So I would request your support to the new board as well. going forward. So we have Madhav also with us. Madhav, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, as I mentioned already, so Madhav is not only ex-president and board member earlier, so he's instrumental in many initiatives at the chapter, so including the Grameen Library and other initiatives I'm talking about. Uh, Madhav, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you, Venkat. Good morning, everyone. Had a very good association with the chapter way back, starting from 2005 onwards. And I was volunteer till 2011 when I had to move out to Calcutta to take charge of an assignment there. And last I was a director for some time, but I think 6 odd months, where we did a lot of interesting things during those 7, 8 years that I was associated. And subsequently coming back, again the team felt that there could be some service that I can render to the chapter. So the past presidents contacted me, and then somehow I got into the board. And then from then onwards, I've been there for last, I think, 5, 6 years. Last, you are aware that I was the past president, and we did a decent amount of work. Was well recognized by the PMI, and with the effort of all the volunteers and our board members, we could successfully implement a few things which were very unique in their own way. And obviously, because of that, kind of work that we could do, we did got recognized at the international level. And I'm just very thankful for the board members and volunteers to have actually executed all those things that we thought of. And I'm sure the new board would continue to do that. And going forward, the value propositions to our members is very important. And I think that focus would continue to be there. And as an organization, if we are also doing something good to the society around us, makes a huge difference, because everyone, sometime or other, do really think, I'm talking about all our 1,000 members, do really think that what is that I can do to make a difference. We do make a difference in our own life, and we try to do something good, or say good deeds in and around our society. But if we can do at our professional level as well, or under that professional level umbrella, if we can make a difference somewhere else, and why not? And I suppose that was what was driving our team, and I'm sure that same would continue as far as this team is concerned. And very happy to note that even at PMI level, it felt the similar way. They have in fact now focused on that segment of doing something good to the society. I think that that resonates with what we did and what we thought was the right thing to do. And I wish the chapter all the very best. And as I think, as a volunteer, you will always continue to volunteer, and I would definitely be a part and parcel of this journey that this chapter is going to have. And I'm sure we are going to achieve many more uploads going forward. But what is essential is that there has to be a commitment from each one of us as volunteer to come forward and take the responsibility. If we say sign up for something, it is expected of you to do justice to what you have signed up. And I think that is what is important, whether at the small chapter level, or at the next level, if one would like to go about doing that. So all the best, and hope to see the chapter rising to greater heights. Thank you very much, Venkat, and thank you very much, the board, for being part of my journey. And all of you have contributed significantly. That's the reason why we could make a difference. And I'm sure the new board, I was happy to see that 3 new members have joined. Shiv, then
Shiva, Pavan, and Vinay. Yeah.
Vijay, and Pavan, right?
Yes, Pavan.
Okay, great. So I'm sure they're going to do great things. They would contribute significantly to make a difference. All the best. Thank you very much for your time.
Yep, thank you. Thank you very much, Madhav. No, really appreciate all of your support. As I mentioned, we continue seek support from all 3 of you, and we'll continue to know the initiatives that you started, especially in the social impact and also of course on the certain activities that we are already working on as part of YSEI as well. So thanks a lot for that. So let's move on. As I mentioned, the changes will take effect from April 1st. So we'll be doing the transition as well to the new board members. As you see my next list here, we have three new board members and three of our existing board members got re-elected. So congratulations to Manohar, Suma, and Saujanya for re-election to the board. Manohar is our General Secretary. Shruma is our membership director now, and also Saujanya is our treasurer, and also she is handling YSCA as well, YSCA portfolio as well now. So congratulations to all three of them, and welcome on board Pavan, Vinay, and Shiva. Pavan, no, again, no, let's start with Pavan. No, very glad to welcome back. I would say so. He was part of the board from 2014 to 2017. If I'm not wrong, I think he worked as a treasurer that time and handled part of many initiatives as a volunteer. And really appreciate Pavan. Readiness to come back to the board again. And he is also a delivery head at Tech Mahindra right now, and he's been part of a chapter for many years in one or the other way. So welcome on board, Pavan. Pavan, if you're there, can you speak?
Yeah, I can. Thanks for unmuting me, and thanks, Venkat, for the welcome. Glad to be a part back in an official capacity. I never left this group. I was always with this group. I think from 2014 is the first Gleanlary that I participated in. I've been somehow or the other associated. So yeah, I had to take a break for some personal reasons. And when somebody reached out to me saying that if I could join back, I was happy to contribute if I can. So thanks for the warm welcome.
Thank you, Pavan. Welcome on board. So we have Shiva also joining the board this time, and Shiva is again an active volunteer at the chapter. So he's working for the Corporate Connect team along with Monica, and very active in various initiatives as part of that portfolio. And he has more than 29 years experience, predominantly in petrochemicals and IT. And he is currently the director at Oracle, and also is member of CII, a supply chain management group as well. So it's really pleasure to have such a varied experience to be onboarded as part of the board. So welcome, Shiva. You want to say
Thank you, Venkat. Thanks for introduction. First, congratulations for the other two new board members who joined along with me, Pavan and Vinay. And I'm really looking forward to work with other board members, volunteers, and also members towards the PMI vision of making the project management and leadership vital for academia, business, society, and the nation. Thank you, Venkat and all. And I really relish working with Sajanya, Monica, and Seshu, an excellent team in the Corporate Connect program. Okay, thanks. Looking forward to working with them and others and other opportunities also. Thank you, Venkat.
Thank you, Shiva. Welcome on board. And we have Vinay also with us, who is going to be onboarded to the board. And know if all of you, some of you would have participated in. I'm sorry. If some of you would have participated in Jan Lahiri last year, he is the one actually actively conducting the quiz and active volunteer in academy and other portfolios as well from last several years in the chapter. He is currently working as an agile coach in UHG Optum, and he has been many initiatives. He's been actively volunteering more than 12 plus years experience in project management. Welcome on board, Vinay. You want to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you, Venkat. Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Venkat. And I would like to specially thank the election board, Ravi, Amit, and Ganesh. That was a good interview where they have understand my vision and my previous contributions into the chapter. Yeah, as Venkat introduced, many of you know me. For those who know or don't know me, I'm Vinay Babu Tarala, working in Optum as an agile coach. I have around 12 plus years of experience. So coming to chapters experience, I've joined in 2019 after clearing the PMP. I was actively involved in various initiatives like PMP exam priority program and industry specific groups, ISG groups, and other activities. As a part of contributions, I have been awarded as a star volunteer of the chapter for that period, and then promoted as a as Sita was mentioning the volunteering, streamlining. As a part of that, I am one of the outcome of that initiatives. I was the one of the program volunteer program manager. Okay, so and recently I have a good amount of experience working for Gyan Lahiri. So with all this rich experience, I've been involved in various portfolios. I know I would be stepping into the very rich elite group of leaders. So I'm ready to learn and take responsibilities. I see this is as a big responsibility. Hopefully, I'll be there in the radar and by doing my services to the chapter. Thank you once again for the opportunity, everybody, and yeah, looking forward to work for coming initiatives. And I congratulate my co-leaders who onboarded along with me, Pawan and Shiva. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Vinay. Welcome on board.
Thank you, Venkat.
Okay, so those are all the board changes, and no, again, as you see, we have a very rich and varied experience as part of the board now. I'm very confident that whatever goals we set forward for this year, and definitely adding value to the members, your membership with the chapter, and also engaging volunteers, and also the social impact we're talking about. I'm pretty confident that we can achieve. With all the board members working cohesively. And I would also request all the members to provide support to the new board. And other than the 6 members in the new board, the rest of the members are going to continue as part of the board. So that will be the 12 members of the board that so regarding the portfolios, we are going to hear from me maybe in the next network meeting. So we are going to discuss on the transition and the way forward for the next 1 month. So by April 1st, we are hoping the new board members will take charge and continue focusing on their specific portfolios. So any specific questions so far before we move on to chapter quick portfolio updates? Okay, so let me quickly check in the board. Okay, so there are no questions I see here. Okay, so let's continue with our next section of portfolio updates. Okay, so this is one slide. Let me quickly talk over in terms of the specific focus area. So as I mentioned, we do annual planning every year. So this annual planning exercise we recently concluded in discussion with PMI team as well. So there are three specific, at a high level, there are three specific areas we are focusing on. Now, one is obviously our core member value addition and member engagement. Outreach is one focus area. So outreach includes corporate, student, and academy as well. And of course, the social impact, or the YSA, the youth and social impact area we are talking about. So these are the three high-level areas. As part of these three high-level areas we are focusing on each of these, nothing but individual portfolios, where we are specific areas we are focusing within the chapter. So we have membership engagement and retention, professional development, chapter events, as all of you see. So there's some of these areas have a dedicated, I think most of the areas have a dedicated portfolio leader, including the transformation, as all of you see. There is a significant transformation we announced as part of PMIPCC 4.0. So we will continue focusing on the transformation initiatives as well. So you're going to hear more and more about citizen development, organization transformation, other new micro credentials that are coming out. And also there are significant changes coming to the membership itself, the PMI and PMIPCC membership that you're going to hear very soon in terms of different tiers that PMI is creating. and where you can also get value based on your current career progression. Okay, so there are significant alignment. We are looking at professional development is our continued focus area, where not only our regular PMP and ACP courses, we expanded our scope to DA, disciplined agile, and other courses as well. So you're going to hear more from Manohar and Gokul on that. SLCB and academic outreach, these are our SLCB is our flagship initiative. We did a leadership last month session on International ISLD Day celebrated last month. So some of you would have participated in that. You would have understood what exactly the SLCB and how it's going to add value to students and youth as well. So communications and social media. So there's significant revamp. We are looking at the way we communicate in terms of website, in terms of technology and all that. So you're going to hear more on that. So each and every portfolio of this, there is significant strategy and plan we are discussing. You're going to hear some of it today from the portfolio leaders and more going forward as well. Okay, so with that, I would request chapter events. Praveen, you going to quickly talk about this? Suma?
Yeah, Venkat, sorry, I was on mute.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, chapter events. Yeah, this is Praveen. Events
Your
director
voice
with my.
getting a bit.
Yeah, I have some network
Go ahead.
issue. Hope I'm good now.
It is better now. It is better now. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah. From the last, we've been multiple times related to the different kind of events that we are conducting. So that is related to our programs that we are conducting as a development or a kind of enhancing the knowledge or sharing the knowledge between all of the board participants or the all the members in our chapter. So you see on the screen, these are the few events that we have conducted post the last network meeting. Hope you all enjoyed and got a very good insight about all these particular topics. Do share your feedback. This is one request from our side. Do share your feedback and on the ask, like what kind of sessions that you wanted to make us available or make it available for all of you. So once you can share your feedback through the LinkedIn post or or the mail ID that we are sharing, so will plan them accordingly and start sharing the particular sessions with you all from the prominent speakers around us. So I believe you are all enjoying these particular sessions in the past and also got a very good feedback. All these particular recordings are available in our YouTube channel also. If you did not hear or you are not part of this particular events in the past, so you can also watch them and provide your feedback on the YouTube channel as well, so that we can evaluate them and have more sessions towards all of us. So thank you so much, and we'd like to hear from you all.
Thank you very much
Thanks.
for the quick update.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
We also conducted Women's Day event. Maybe that is there in another slide.
Yeah, this is the slide. You can,
Yeah, this was another for all South Asia chapters. Komal had helped us coordinating with all the women leaders across all the chapters, and this was a great session and a lot of focus meant for the women leadership and lot learnings that we got through this particular session. Thanks, Komal, for coordinating this session. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks, Praveen again. Komal.
Thanks, Praveen, for that. Team, you must have been seeing communications from our end in terms of the PMIPCC 4.0 transformation journey in line with the PMI's offerings that have been expanded to cover for different product portfolios, and mainly to make it more comprehensive and to the point to the project professionals and youth. PMI has expanded its program product catalog. And you have already been seeing some of these micro credentials, communication mailers coming out. As a part of bringing in more awareness to our members and helping our members get through some of these micro credentials, we have initiated a series of sessions on these defined micro credentials. Last month, some of you would have attended the organization transformation series. The same focus would continue in 2022, wherein we are looking at bringing more seasoned speakers from the PMI and other industries to focus on the citizen developer, where the buzzword these days is a no code, low code, or the metaverse. So look forward to these sessions and get engaged. And if you have any questions regarding any of these credentials, please reach out to us. We'll help you in getting the needed information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Komal. I think there are somebody raised their hand, Jayashree.
Yes, Jayashree has just completed her Organization Transformation Foundation. So we are very excited. Thank you, Jayashree, for completing, and we'll definitely take your inputs, to see how other members can benefit from that.
Oh, great. Yeah, thanks,
Right.
Komal. I thought some questions you might be asking. Okay, thank you. Okay. Vishnu is Academy Gokul or Manohar.
Hello all, good morning and welcome all to the network meeting. Hope you are all having fun and enjoying. Please network. And regarding the academy workshops portfolio, we had two workshops that we did in February. One is for a PMP corporate workshop, and two other workshops on ACP that we have completed. And we have another PMP public workshop that been suggested, and we are planning to get this workshop to be started next week. So 2 weekends. Anybody who wants to do a PMP, please suggest and recommend this. It will be a good for the participants to get this PMP certification from this chapter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gokul. No, one point I would like to emphasize here, whatever Gokul mentioned, request all members also to make sure you pass on this communication to your friends, family, and all, so that any of them interested in PMP certification, do pass on the details to us. Okay, because this is very important. As all of you know, there some of you would have attended our workshops. There's a lot of value you get out of a chapter workshop with you doing PMP from chapter. Okay, not only during the course from the senior faculties, but also post course completion as well. So a lot of support you'll get from chapter. So I would like to request and encourage all members to pass on this communication. We have monthly workshops scheduled, but the challenge we have is the numbers are getting participants for the workshop is becoming challenge for the chapter. So would request support from all the members in this. Okay, so Vishnu, you're going to talk about it. Is Vishnu in the call? Vishnu?
Yeah, sorry, I took time to
No
unmute myself. We have this year conducted 8 knowledge sharing sessions for NIT Raurkela Project Management Student Forum, and out of which one of them was common for NIT Raurkela and National Academy of Construction. Now we have 2 student forums up and running at National Academy of Construction and also NIT Rourkela. And we have delivered the SLCB Foundation module by chapter member Mr. Sriram on 5th January 2022 at Manjira High School and Manjira ITI. Again, one more was delivered on 5th February 2022 by Ravi Shankar and Shruti. So like that, we have delivered we have conducted 3 SLCB sessions, and also we conducted the ISLD on February 12th. So these are the key updates. And of late, we have not conducted any knowledge sharing sessions for the colleges because of the exams and all. Otherwise, we are conducting throughout the year. This International Student Leadership Day was on February 3rd, but it was conducted on February 12th. That is the culture with our PMIPCC. What we do is, though it falls on February 3rd, nearest possible weekend we celebrate. And we are also embarking on the preparation of the SLCB next level module. The first module is foundation course. Second one is transformation course. Third one is sustenance course. So we are embarking on preparing the package for the transformation module. And we have started dialogue on that. We are taking mentorship from VSR and other erstwhile leaders who are actively guiding us. And some of the members like Vijayeta from NICMAR, they are actively involved in this preparation. And we conducted we were judges in one of the competitions at NIT Rourkela. That was on a project management based competition. And this one, the Malkajgiri one was also done. This was done on February 5th, as I was saying. So these are the updates.
Okay, thank you, Vishnu. So this is a snapshot view of ISLD celebrations, I guess, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, so as you see here, so more than 500 plus students from different colleges participated in this event. This is one of the, I would say, after many years, we were able to conduct in a large scale the ISLD day successfully this year. So now we have Nagaraj Garu participated, one of the renowned speaker, and also we had an interesting panel discussion on the taste of failures, and also VSR inaugurating the conference. V. Srinivas Rao, the ex founding member of the chapter, inaugurating the event, and welcome note also delivered by him. Okay, so we are continuing our emphasis on helping hands. I think Saujanya not able to join today, right? Komal? Okay, so let me cover for her. We are continuing our emphasis on YSCI, the youth and the social impact initiatives I'm talking about. And also this is one of our key focus area as well for this year, also going forward. So as part of this, we launched an initiative that what we're calling it as an helping hands by PMIPCC. So where we are actually doing knowledge sharing sessions or the teachings to especially the underprivileged children at different homes in the city. So we conducted many programs so far. And this is as part of our alignment of self-development goals. So so we are actually each and every initiative in YSIC we are aligning to UN SDG, United Nations Self-Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals. So as part of that initiative, quality education is one Sustainable Development Goals. As part of that, we are doing many activities as part of helping hands. Okay, so one key updates that we are missing here, Suma, you want to give a quick update on membership? You want to share slides?
Sure, Venkat. Thanks for that. I wouldn't be share because I'm on a different machine. However, I'll just give a quick update regarding what we are doing in the membership, and we'll take it forward from there. So good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining in for the last network meeting of the financial year 2021 and 2022. We have been into several meetings, and fortunately we were able to connect in November for the network meeting in person, and we will be starting that soon. I'm getting quite a few inquiries regarding that as well in the chat. However, to start with, we have been reviewing what members wanted as a part of the survey, and we just got it recently. So looking at the comments and everything, whatever we have done is most of it has gone into the part of the annual planning as well. So stay assured that we are getting closer to home. We are looking at more and more engaging events or activities that we as project managers and program managers encounter day in and day out in our work. We had started the Career Enabler series. We are going to bring it back in full scale. We are looking at several tools and techniques from the project management perspective as well. And some of you had commented in the survey about members being given more opportunities for speaking and engagement activities as well. Trust me, we had this initiative right from the last year itself, the member speaker initiative, and just some of the events that Praveen mentioned earlier, they are taken by members as well. So we are going forward in several such activities. And now, though I do not have the slide ready, I'd like to welcome all the 129 new members.
Sorry, yeah.
Thanks for that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just sharing the slide that these are the slides you're talking about, the 120.
Thank you so much. Yes. So from Jan to till date, we have had several members joining in, and I'd like to welcome each and everyone in this forum. In better times, we would have met face to face, and you all would have come together. We all would have seen each other's faces, so on and so forth. So we'll do that soon. And next slide, if you could. This is about the credential holders from, this is in 2022. We have had about 45 PMPs, and next slide. As Venkat mentioned, we have had several folks who have taken the other credentials as well. Next slide. This goes about it. RMP, ACP, PGMP, the OT that Jayashree just took up, and the CAPM as well. Thank you so much for staying involved with the chapter, and we'll look forward for many more engaging events. Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Shuma. Appreciate it. So appreciate all the board members for the quick updates. So any questions before we move on to the session? Okay, so let me check.
Yeah. Thank you, Venkat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So good morning, all. Thank you all for joining for the network meeting, and thank you, Rahul, for taking up the request and then accepting us to go ahead and give a session. So before Rahul starts the session, I'll give a brief intro about Rahul, and then we'll hand over it to Rahul to start the session. So Rahul is a seasoned HR professional, and currently he heads the HR function at Columbus, which is a product development company, and he takes care of both Hyderabad and Pune development centers. And coming to his educational background, he's an alumni from prestigious Delhi School of Economics, where he did his master's in human resources and organization development. His primary area of focus are on empowering people and enabling high performance in multiple global solutions, and also delivery teams to HR analytics. So he had a very good consulting experience in learning solutions, talent strategies, leadership development, and on the analytics part, primarily on the membership side, most probably on the team side. And he's a regular speaker at various HR forums and a regular speaker at various business schools, where he's constantly being asked to speak across different areas, primarily on the leadership and and on the delivery team's perspective. Today, he's going to speak on the topic of leadership tactics and techniques in global context with focus on first-time managers. This session will introduce the leadership ideas and frameworks through practical scenarios, and it will definitely help all of us on our professional journey when we are taking up the first-time assignments. Or it also acts as a refreshment session for all the seasoned professionals where they can relook into their strategies and all. So we welcome Rahul to go ahead and start presenting his slides.
Thank you, Krishna, and hello everyone. Good morning. Thanks for having me today. Let me first start sharing my content here, and then we can build our discussion.
Sure, Rahul. Yeah, we can see your screen.
You can see that. Super. Great. Yep. So let me set some context here. I was asked to speak on the topic of leadership for 45 minutes, and then I thought, given the nature of work which this group is involved in, it would be good to hit the issue right at the core, uh, where the leadership is actually being executed, that is in our work environments on a day-to-day basis. Usually leadership topic is so vast and big that there are multiple theories on leadership and motivations, but they are all describing from their point of view how a good leadership style looks like. But then when we come to our work environments, we unknowingly get uh, tuned or adapted to a style of leadership which we perceive maybe from our immediate fellow leaders, or maybe what is going on prevalent in the industry. So that's why they say that there is a large disconnect from academics and what goes on in the practical sphere of works when it comes to leadership and management. In this session, I will, if you have to think of a takeaway from this session, this is all about planting a seed. This is all about discussing some ideas on contemporary leadership from our society, from our workplaces, and then we will evaluate and try to find out, and in this session, you can join us on that journey, a quest to answer what is the right style of leadership and how do we get there. So that's the whole purpose of this session. I saw you all are very nicely interacting on the chat, so maybe we can use that as our collaboration tool. But if you want to speak, that is also fine with me. So let me just first introduce the session with one question. So let's do an activity here. You can use your chat function here to answer these two questions, right? So first one is, think of a leader with whom you have worked and the one you would gladly would want to work again, right? So think about this first question. Then second, think of a person in a leadership position that you would try to avoid, or you would not like to, or you would not prefer to work with, right? So uh, very briefly, if you can write, some adjectives, how did these two people made you feel while you were working? It would be a good starting point to build our discussion here today. Right, so you can use some of the adjectives here to describe this. Let me just see if I can see the chat here. Somehow I'm not able to see the chat, but let me just try to fix this.
You're able to see now, Rahul?
Not yet. Do I have to stop sharing to see the chat? I'm new to WebEx.
No, actually, you can just pull down the top bar.
Okay. Yes, here.
Yeah, in that, if you click on chart, you're not able to see.
There is. Oh, yeah. Now here. Perfect. Got it. Thank you. Yes. So let me just go through. Transactional. Okay. Yeah. Laissez-faire would like to avoid. Team player guide work freedom. So, great. Empowerment. You would like to avoid micromanagement. Empathy. Try to put himself in other shoes. Energy trainer, energetic. Okay. Empowers for innovation. Would avoid micromanagers who are unapproachable. Freedom and in decision making. Micromanager. Yes. Good. Good responses. If I have to pull in some of the common themes in these responses, what I see here is there's a lot of you would like to work with a person or a leader who gives you empowerment, freedom to apply and take decisions, someone who motivates and values you. So it's about freedom, and then someone who curtails freedom or someone who micromanages, unapproachable is someone who would you like to avoid. Laissez-faire doesn't engage. You don't learn anything from them. Okay, good. So this is very interesting, right? So whenever I do this, whenever I open my session with these two questions, the the responses are usually on these two lines. So where you are actually trying to work with someone who gives you freedom at work, you learn from them, and you most likely would like to avoid someone who micromanages, who make you feel small, right? Feeling humiliated, I see here, steals credit. This is all about making you feeling small. And see, that's why the topic of leadership is so interesting, because this is all about life, and life is not a static concept. It's constantly developed. So does the leadership. It's not a fixed concept which you define 20 years ago and it would still be valid. So it's a evolving concept. But one thing which emerges as a common pattern here is our quest for happiness and freedom. And it's quite intuitive that we want that in our work as well, right? We spend a large portion of our lives at work, and someone who is leading us or is perceived as a leader, our expectation from them is the same, right? So this is the starting point. Let's keep these inferences that we had from the our brief interaction here, and because this will help us during the session to arrive at some conclusions later on. Now let me put in another fact, and right now let's just try to absorb what each one of us are saying on this topic, and then we will try to arrive at some conclusions. So don't worry if you are not able to figure out where is this going. It is intentionally kept this way. We are trying to open our minds here. So global surveys, most recent one I picked up in 2019, they reveal that only 1/3 of the professionals, they rate their leadership as high in the organization, which means a large portion, the 2/3, is not rated highly. We also see, and we are in the context of the phase in our industry called as great resignation, right? And what do the management professionals say about attrition? Many people don't leave their job, but their leaders. It's one of the factors. I'm not saying it's the only one, but then it is a key factor. So let's see why it is such a subject which is always in debate. People want to improve. You ask any senior leadership in a progressive culture and ask them what is their pain area, and they would say we want to really improve our quality of leadership. But then what do people say? They say they are unapproachable. I think some of you mentioned this comment. Employees end up covering up the mistakes that their managers have made. So this is also about one of the chat that I read, that you're not getting enough learning opportunities from your managers. You receive little support from the superior for making decisions. Ma- Ability to make decision autonomous, in an autonomous way is about freedom, right? It's not about the uh, the level of decision making. It's not about the level of its impact, but it's about freedom to execute work on a day-to-day basis. So therefore, they become not so confident in making decisions, and they experience stress, poor health. This is again something which we felt. I think most of us and many of my people that I talk to and try to get their pulse during the COVID times, the average number of work hours increased. We all were suddenly plunged into a virtual way of working completely. Not that IT was always a little bit, our nature of business is such that it's okay for us to work from home, and it's been there for quite some time. But now, since everyone was in that mode, the average number of working hours increased, and many face a lot of stress if their leaders are not giving them freedom, autonomy, and happiness at work. And somehow it's connected to this. So this becomes even more important. They have low trust in their managers. So people want strong leaders who they can trust, who give them a sense of hope and inspiration for future despite all the pressures. It's about not about what they do and how do they do it. You must have seen this shift now, and many thought leaders are saying that now we should give away our our expectation from our employees on the basis of their availability. It should be much more on outcome based rather than being available. We actually were in a transition, and we fought this a lot in our ways of working. When people asked for work from homes, management also felt that yes, this is giving people flexibility, increases productivity, and is good for work-life balance, etc. All good. So that was the first milestone. That's when the first level line of leaders sort of started to understand that it's okay, the productivity still will be there, and I don't have to judge people how they work depending on how much time that they stay in the office. Now we are in the another stage where everyone is working from home. Uh, some some leaders have a point of view that being available on Skype or Teams is the measure of productivity. We have to give away that as well, right? So this is the changing context. So I just wanted to put this information out here just so that we can draw back some of the conclusions from here. And now, just to build some discussion in form of chats, and for people who can speak, feel free to unmute and speak. This is a completely interactive, and I think we are here to learn something from each other experiences. So I have a lot of theories on management, but I think this topic is something in which we need to really uh, create some shift in our thinking. So these are the two styles of leadership. that I have put for this particular discussion. As I said earlier, there are many. There are not just two. There could be 10 and 12 and many in between. But then, just to differentiate from one to another, we see that the style number one, this was something when the first industrial revolution started, and when the topic of management was just being born, mostly through armies and world wars, and most of the theories in organizational behavior have come through those eras, like Hawthorne studies. That's when first people realized that men and people and women, they are not machines. If you see theory X here, theory X assumed that people are generally disinterested to work. They have to be pushed, they have to be micromanaged, they have to be told, right? And then it was a shift from then where we are here now, and it is again evolving, theory Y, wherein we assume that if people are given freedom and autonomy at work, they would not be misusing it. They know how to, the self managing attributes are there. They will not try to, take leeways from the freedom that is given to them. It's about shifting from one to two here, more democratic. And let me just give you some of the global context. I will draw in from my experiences here, because I also interact with a lot of managers in the Nordic region, and UK. And in that culture, we should learn from some of the good things, So uh, the democracy that we have institutionalized in our system today, it's been developing for quite some time, and it's now very clear that this is one system which allows people, and it brings the best out of people. We are seeing from our world events right now. And I was happy to see in your chapter meets, you're all talking about elections, collaborating. Lots of world is moving towards that. We have no other option but to collaborate. In a virtual environment, I don't think a leader can survive and build his team without inculcating the tenets of collaboration. It's shifting here. Let me give you another pointer here to think. The latest workforce which is coming in, we call them millennials, and there are different terms based on the date on which they are born. What are they learning today? They are completely unaware of this style of learning, and are, you would have seen in your children and the younger folks who have joined us in freshers. This last year we did the campus hiring program, like we do every year, and it's always an eye opener to understand their approach uh, to management. How do they perceive the leaders? What are their expectations? It is changing, isn't it? It is no longer in this left area anymore. They want uh, the Russia-Ukraine war. I was reading one of the uh, news piece, and in that, when the questions were asked, and some people were protesting, and the younger folks, the millennials, they were saying, how could we are having war in the year 2022? Of course, there's a lot of politics behind it, but I wanted to draw upon their thought process. They think these ideas of rigidity, top down, hierarchical, you know 7 8 layers of management, giving respect basis on the title, these ideas are no longer valid, and we are somewhere caught in the between. I think if we have to lead and influence and motivate these younger folks who are coming into our environment, we already have to shift and make a dramatic shift in our approach to what does the management look like? Now, some of you might be thinking from the words that I'm speaking that maybe this guy is a bit idealist here. There are some cases wherein you have to really get behind people to get things done. And I will address that piece too towards the later. But I think I got one question. Do you think it is more about situational than this is good? There would be a situation, where controlling vice versa. Unfortunately, in reality, majority of the leaders you will see are autocratic. Yeah. So it is, of course, situational leadership is again the most recent management theory. Uh, Depending on the situation, leaders have to adopt the way the approach that they will take to manage a situation. Completely taken your point. But right now, I want to really draw the difference between these two styles. Some of this is so ingrained, maybe because of our education system, maybe the way we were asked to behave, right? Fake it till you make it. Until last few decades, this was considered as a punchline, right? Catch all phrase. But faking till you make it is not about authentic self. Today, people are talking about being authentic, being original. So right now, I just want to open your mind to this, because you yourself and many of you have said that you would like to work with someone who gives you freedom and autonomy, who is basically on the leadership style too here, which I'm talking about. But we are little bit, there is a gap sometimes to what we want and what we would really do to others. And I will draw upon that, and we will then see how you know how unaware we are to our own thought process when it comes to matters like these. So here is the two topics. Right now, I'm just giving you all the information that we need to build up, our thinking here. We just saw the two styles, right? But I thought it would be good in this limited time to also give you a couple of tools, right? To also discuss here, and couple of tactics. Tactics actually lie between strategy and operations, so they are not strategy as such, but using these psychological principles, wherein a lot of research has happened, we can maybe, I think someone asked, how do we shift our leadership style when millennials are here? So some of the principles, they will always exist. We need to focus on those. One of the tactic is this Pygmalion effect. You must have heard this when you read some of the management books, but if not, you can research on this more after this session. This is about power of expectation. So what I'll give you some context on how this theory came into practice. The researchers, as you know, they do controlled study to before they draw some conclusions, right? To then they set up some factors and they correlate variables, and that then they uh, prove their hypothesis to be right or wrong. So in that method, they set up a classroom and they made students sit in two rows. So there is row number one, in which a set of students are sitting, girls and boys, and then there is row number two. And think about this. I want your responses in the chat for this. These two rows were sitting and in the classroom, and the teacher was given the task of letting them through a subject for 2 weeks, and after that they will have to take a test, both the groups, and then we will compare the results, exam scoring results from both the groups. So teachers started teaching, and they follow a methodology in which they ask a lot of questions, they share concepts, and a lot of Q&A is required between student and teacher for that particular topic. So this happened, and after the 2 weeks, after those 2 weeks, it was found that the results from group A was significantly higher than that of group B. Now note that these two groups were of exactly similar academic competence. In fact, for the study, they pulled out the similarly academically oriented people, students for that class. So there is no basic distinction, and a group A and B were given same set of conditions with the prior knowledge of the classroom, etc. But why do you think group A got higher results? Can anyone guess? One says bystander effect. So this is about, you know, we can discuss later, but then this is not relevant now. So this is about someone who is seeing the events that are happening, and then they take actions basis on that. But this is not it. So why do you think group A, they were better motivated? But why? Why? Because intrinsic motivation. But the other group, group B, was also similarly placed. They were also similarly scoring students, and there's no evidence that one group was more motivated than the other before the classroom. Is it something that the teacher did while taking the classes? They were able to connect, yes. So I'll tell you what these researchers did. They did not say anything to the students that you have to score high or lower, etc. They were not. What they did was they told to the teacher that group A students are more brighter students than group B. But please, you continue your teaching without, using this knowledge. We want everyone to succeed in this class. But teacher was told this. And do you know, interestingly, what happened? Teacher A, not knowing that both the group of students are actually equal in competence or mostly similar, the teachers started demonstrating some behavior which was then transferred to the group A students. So maybe he or she started asking questions, started asking, thinking, maybe looking more to a group A set of students than looking at group B, maybe expecting answers from group A before he or she goes to group B. And this started happening. And these small set of behaviors that the teacher displayed made group A students who were sitting there believe that they are actually better than the other set of students. And this theory is used a lot. You must have seen, the power of expectations, the power of, you know, thinking that you could achieve bigger things, and that's how you set your mind to a target. So this particular theory, the power of expectations, is also, we've seen one of the good examples is from the Steve Jobs, when he used to give seemingly impossible tasks to their designers and engineers, and once they used to accomplish this, they found out that you were able to do this because you didn't realize that it is impossible. So he made them believe that it is possible to do so. This is very important, to these young people whom you are going to manage. Many managers and leaders unconsciously have this feeling that, and they say, maybe you won't be able to do this, right? And this is what I was talking about, allowing people to make little mistakes in a very controlled environment, of course. And this, when you start to expect better and much better from your people, what you are creating in them is a feeling that they are better and they can do it. And this can happen from very small cues. Maybe you start involving them in decision makings. Maybe you give them something which is a stretch project, right? And you make them believe you can do this. I don't see any reason why you would need additional help there. So in incremental and in a controlled fashion, this could be very well utilized. Some of the good leaders actually do this without even knowing the whole concept of this, but in their styles you would find this principle in use. So I would encourage you to research more about this. This is not about manipulating someone. This is about bringing in the best out of people, making them take that leap of faith, right? So we go to the next one here. I think most of you are aware of this, so I will not dwell on this more. Intrinsic motivation comes from within, and extrinsic motivation comes from outside. Now, if you see these two styles of leadership which I was talking about here, these set of leaders, they believe that motivation is something which can be created from punishments and rewards, right? Whereas here, this set of people believe that intrinsic is motivation is something which comes from within and not from outside. You cannot create fear in people to actually help them accomplish something. That's why we see so much of disinterest sometimes among employees. They don't not responding to these surveys, not responding to the um, to different initiatives, and then everyone is a little bit baffled. Why are they not engaging with us? Are they, don't they have time, etc.? So I mean, what is lacking there is this intrinsic motivation. We need to empower, we need to give them that feeling that they can do it and they can collaborate, and we need to create enough spaces so that they can't hide. No one should have, you must be talking about, let me draw in a couple of principles from future of work here. Many of your organizations, including mine, now have implemented hybrid ways of working. But we need to also understand more about this, than being a new jargon. You must have seen the collaboration spaces in the office are now much more in than the cubicles. We are now shifting from that individual siloed space of a cubicle to much more collaboration based offices. And some of the more progressive companies are saying, if you have to do individual work, you please plan that when you are working from home. But when you come to office, plan for having at least couple of hours of interaction with your team members and other functions, because they have started to now realize that in this volatile world wherein you need to innovate and you need to learn and progress faster, there is no other way than to collaborate. So leadership style has to change in order to accommodate what organizations are envisioning here, right? Then the next point that I want to come to, and now you will see, you would be able to connect some dots to what we have been discussing so far, right from the first activity that we did. Superiors are unwilling to give autonomy, even though they know that, and it's now established. We just asked this question, right? If I pose this question to myself, I would definitely would want to work with someone who gives more autonomy. But why is it that it is so difficult to give? It's not that they are bad people. It's not about good people or bad people. This, we are talking about behavior. And when we talk about organizational behavior, it's not about putting people into the buckets of good and bad. It's about being objective and understanding what is the reason of that behavior. And here are some of the pointers, which some of this I have collected from my own experiences, but I have seen that some of the people do it because they feel comfortable being a hands-on manager. They should be able to work along with their people and be not too much away in leadership. So this is one area, and I think we need to really think about this. Why do we want to be comfortable in being hands-on? Is it some risk of forgetting the essentials at work? I'm drawing in some of the very practical things. You may not be finding this in literature, but then this is the reality. They believe that others may not perform as well as me. They have come through the same journey, and they might be able to recognize that when I have, some people say that if I have to do it the best, I then I just take over the task myself. I don't trust others when it comes to critical things at work. But see, where is that coming from? It's about that, I think we have extended our concept of survival way too far. We have stretched the concept of survival to, job security. Of course, that's there, but even on day-to-day task, it gets overridden, and this conditioning is the reason why these first two things happen. And then third one, some people enjoy, and please, if you disagree, please, you can put this in the chat. I would be happy to have a very good discussion. Yeah, or maybe we can discuss over the email later on. But then some managers enjoy having all the answers. They feel good about this. Information is power. Fear of losing power, respect position, comfort of using, their role. Oh, yeah, of course. So I'm comfortable doing this way. In some of the project-based organizations, and of course I'm in the right forum here, then you must have seen one manager and different people, of course, they are working with this manager for different projects, and then on the floor a certain kinds of uh, uh, consensus is built, who is what kind of manager, right? And someone who has spent a lot of time on the floor knows this, that your image as a leader is not what is there in your mind. It's already there in form of perceptions and conclusions among people. And this is reality. Someone has a different point of view. Good. It's not always the case. Some managers build a team of very competent individuals who can handle the project tasks effectively. Absolutely, I agree. Some managers. So this is like I said. This is about you know uh, challenging our own thought process here. It's not about uh, placing people into right or wrong. Of course, right? So some managers have found why they are sticking to this style of or approach. If someone gets fired for choosing a particular style, it would be very evident, right? This is not to be done. But then they continuously use it because the organizational culture also supports it. Maybe it brings results, right? Sometimes very senior leadership, they place their best managers on a project when they know they can execute this through their task leadership. But we need to understand and challenge what is the resultant of that kind of culture. Is it because when people are given autonomy, they would, you know, cut corners? Is it that? So we have to have that debate because it's very positive debate. It will help us to create an environment wherein everyone can demonstrate some form of leadership. You should have workshops in the teams to identify, what kind of leadership is needed for the team. But anyways, coming back to this, uh, someone fears that, yeah, this is again about fear. So you see, this particular whole space is about some form of fear, some form of control, some form of comfortableness in doing what is successful previously, and it's also about our culture. But I would like to hear your thoughts too. Don't you think that the millennials being portrayed too much individualistic are transformed into believers of theory X? So, good point. See, millennials, I don't think they are too much individualistic, but what I think is their way of looking at the world is different. We cannot say that it's individualistic or it's for the whole of human, collective. But what I try to see there is that they are not ready to take in what was previously established. They are not ready to put it in very simple examples. They are not ready to respect someone just because of the title of someone. They would want to see the content and the takeaways that they can have from that person. I think this is the newer way of, and maybe because of the social media, the boundaries between countries have gone. The way our perceptions are when we come to interact with our international counterparts, their way of approaching it is different because they are already doing this for a long time, maybe in social media, in this comment. So the bridge, they don't see any difference. They don't have any bias, and that approach is different. Someone said that, yeah, I think a manager should be enabler. Very good. It all depends on RM versus reportee relationship. Yeah, how we perceive things matter a lot. When you are task driven, sometimes due to timeline and customer pressure, misunderstanding will happen. Yes, as a manager, understand. Absolutely, very good points. So I think if you're just aware of these items, then it becomes clear. But then if I come to the next thing, right now we have, I think it almost went in a way wherein we are bashing a lot towards the leadership. But then it's also about, juniors or employees. We see that employees are unwilling to take responsibility. What happens, how these management lessons gets ignored, because let's say if I just told you, okay, let's agree to give more empowerment, more autonomy to people, let them do things themselves, let them come up with the decisions, and you take away those principles in a group of people where the culture is not right, where the self-management behaviors are not inculcated properly. If as an organizational culture you are used to measure productivity of employees by the number of hours that they are available on a tool, then that organization in that setup, I'm sorry to say that, but that in that setup you cannot just next day say, you guys please be more autonomous, take more responsibility. That would be counterproductive, don't you think so? So it's about influencing that culture, because uh, we need to be ready to have all kinds of workforce in our environment, and this should not be something which remains as a management thought. Or also, it has happened with people who are in the middle of their career, that autocratic management style has trained people to react rather than initiate. Many times it happens to me. I say something to be done to my fellow colleagues, and they immediately leap into action mode without even thinking or asking questions about this feedback. I'm sure if most of you are in IT companies, you must have heard a lot. But then this autocratic management has trained some of the people that in order to be successful, you should be focused on doing, on reacting, and not so much on thinking and contemplating and reflecting. And this is costing us dearly, because some of the high-end piece of the work gets away from those companies where they haven't inculcated this style of leadership, which enables people to think, reflect, and then leap into action. it also is about why people are fearful of taking responsibilities, because maybe they have been reprimanded before when they did that. Maybe a small mistake was blown out of proportion and they have learned from it, right? That's a learned behavior. And then, to reduce the cognitive dissonance, right? Just research on this topic. It's very interesting. Some of you who already know this, we try to, reconcile what we want as an individual and what is expected out of world, so that we create, we have limited conflict. If I buy a car, which I find out that, an expensive car, which I later find out that is a lemon, it doesn't have all these things for which I bought it for, and now that's a bad decision. But then I'm now stuck with it, right? So what I'll do over the time, I cannot just complain every day. I would try to change my thoughts into believing that I have made the right choice and my car is the right car for me. And even I would also explain it to others how it is a good car. So these things we do, and we try to reduce that dissonance. So maybe this must have happened, and people have learned that it's not right to take those additional responsibilities. And this comes a lot from our people, right? If you are manager, there is no incentive to take extra responsibilities. They have got it wrong. If you need incentives for every additional thing that you want to do, and that means I'm talking about every one of us, uh, which means we are inspiring our leadership to become a taskmaster, right? Theory X, wherein we believe people will not work unless they are given punishments or rewards. So if we are creating a culture of always talking about what's in it for me, what's the incentive, what is the monetary gain, we are actually losing the whole point. It is about making our lives and our work environment stress-free and something which helps us to grow as an individual, happiness and freedom. So these are some of the issues which I have heard from a lot of people, and I tried to summarize it for all of us here. But I think we are also coming towards the end, and I would leave you with these 2 points now. This is where it all comes together, what we have all discussed. And let me just also open the chat to see what you all are saying. Perception plays a big role, and first impression is last. Yep. A good leader will make a path where employee take responsibility. Yeah, I would agree with Manish. Let's please challenge each other here. It is idealist, but we have to really aim for that idealist point of view to land up somewhere at least closer to this. See what has happened now. We have unknowingly or knowingly, because of our the leadership styles that exist, we have created an environment. We are seeing the behavior of people, right? When it comes to hiring, everyone has 5-6 offers. It's a good situation for all of the professionals. But then see what conclusions people sitting at the very top are drawing now in their boardrooms. So it goes both ways. This is something, if it is not fixed, then it will hurt both the leaders and the people who are working for them. So my point is, many of us feel comfortable with freedom, which we have said during the starting of the session, but giving freedom to others may be a lot more challenging. So maybe uh, if you are already a leader now, when the question was asked to you, what would you expect in a leader? Your responses were all about, giving the freedom. But then, are you ready to give freedom to others? This may be sounding a lot more challenging than it is. It is about giving control to outside you. Trust me, I have also seen this personally in my own workings, right? Some of the critical stuff it's very difficult to give that control outside. So this is one takeaway. Then second one is, if more people prefer the style 2, I think it is a general consensus, right? Everyone would want the style 2, which is about the opposite of 1. But why do we still have so many style 1 managers and fewer style 2? You saw the survey results, right? One third are only 1/3 are rated as great or high on the leadership scores. Rest are not. So it's quite evident that we have more in the bucket of style 2. And this style 1 and style 2 is simply just to uh, create a good scope and to conceptualize our understanding on the leadership. There are many. So this is an open-ended question. Think about this, and I think we should ask this to ourselves. We should challenge others also, who are saying that this is a very idealist point of view, right? And some of them may say, yes, we want this, but we don't have the culture. Well, we are stuck. But then when the culture will change, right? So with this, I want to ask one last question. Maybe that's a very good way to conclude this. Please name some of the leaders which you admire, and then think about why do you admire them in our industry or maybe elsewhere. Think about those leaders, and then you will find out that which theory do they belong to, and why do they do so, right? We know very inspirational leaders. Ratan Tata is one we all everyone talks about. But then, if what is it in his style that you find so charming? You should have answers to those that will open the mind. So with that, I will conclude. I think someone has asked a very good question. How do you define leadership in one sentence? Well, I would say leadership is all about creating newer stuff for the betterment of humanity, but while achieving the goal of the humanity, that is happiness and freedom. If the leadership is focused in that direction, of course the value will be created out of it. So I feel it's about living. It's a live concept. Let's not make this um, a theory which is fixed. It's an evolving concept. Maybe 10 years from now, there would be newer ways of evaluating leadership. But then for now, we need to also think this through this topic. It also comes a lot through self-awareness as well. So I wish you all the best. I think I have run out of time now here, but I will leave my email ID for you to drop in some of the questions. If you disagree with me, I would be happy to talk to you and have a debate. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day. I hand over it to the presenter here now.
Thank you, Rahul. Thanks for a very insightful session. So Venkat, can you please go ahead?
Thank you very much, Rahul. I think, Casey, we can move ahead with the announcements.
Yeah. So are you sharing the screen?
Okay, 1 minute.
Yep. So we have some few announcements. Currently we have a PMP workshop which is in progress. So we do have a similar sessions in the future. Please do encourage your friends to be part of the PMP virtual preparatory workshops which we do on behalf of PMIPCC. In similar, we are also planning to have some DA system workshops. Soon we will publish those via emails to all the members. So this is, you can go ahead and claim your PDUs. Venkat, can we go to the next slide? So we have 0.75 for strategic and 0.75 for leadership as part of the network meeting participation. So we will send this in email. Also, you can take a PDU claim code in case if you want to note it. So in total, you will be getting 1.5 PDU. Sure. Thank you, Venkat. So Komal, would you like to go ahead and then have the vote of thanks?
Sure, Casey, thank you. Once again, a very good afternoon to all, and thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's been a long weekend, but thank you for taking out time to join us on the Saturday morning. It's always great to meet and greet all our members. Well, to start my word of thanks, I would like to thank the chapter members, that is you, for taking out time today and joining the last network meeting, like Suma pointed out, for this financial year. I hope you have enjoyed our year's roundup of events and initiatives that we have brought to you over the last year. Today we did have a wonderful guest speaker, Rahul Sharma. It was a pleasure listening to you talk on the various leadership traits and styles. Thank you so much, Rahul, for taking out time and talking and discussing, debating about this topic. We did have quite a few interactions with the members putting their point of views. Thank you for making it more interactive. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all our volunteers from the communications and the member outreach team for making this network meet another success and for their continued support in driving all the chapter events. At this time, I would like to thank the outgoing board, Madhav, Sita, and Monica, for all their wonderful contributions in our chapter's journey. And at the same time, would like to welcome the new board members and wishing them the very best in taking our chapter to greater heights. I would like to thank my co-board members, Krishna, Chaitanya, and Praveen, for driving this event, and all the other board members and volunteers for supporting today's learning and networking connect. As we continue our impacting initiatives in 2022, we are looking forward to your continued engagement in making this a more vibrant community. Thank you so much once again for joining us today, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Komal. So thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful day. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Sure, Keshav. Thank you everyone for joining.